Um, I mean, the San Antonio Spurs win by far the most important game of their entire playoff run so far. I'm kind of just trying to gather my thoughts a little bit and get it all together because obviously the game has just wrapped up and I am finally getting a video out on time straight after the game this time. So these are instant reactions. Obviously, I'm going to gather my thoughts as I go and get everything out, but the San Antonio Spurs stay alive at Madison Square Garden. And for a team that was down at halftime, down 7 points, Charles Barkley was on the broadcast saying that the series is over. This game is already over at halftime. For such a young and inexperienced team to have such a crucial win like that and be able to pull it out the way that they did, I mean, you can only give credit to them. It is literally as simple as that. I genuinely, if I was to take anything away from this game, I genuinely think neither team played as well as they could have. Obviously, the New York Knicks, I think in the fourth quarter, missed 10 straight threes, which for the entirety of this series so far, that has not been who they are, and that has not been who they have been known for. And the San Antonio Spurs on the other side, like Stephon Castle had his stretches in this game. I think Stephon Castle was the biggest player for the Spurs for me today. He obviously had his second quarter run where he was just getting to the bucket, and I think he got to the bucket 4 or 5 times in a row. Tough layups, reverse finishes, and he just kept the scoring going for the Spurs. And then, with 2 minutes left in the game, you've got a 4-point game. Victor Wembanyama stands at the top of the key for literally 15 seconds and does not move in a crucial offensive possession. And all you can do is he dumped it off to Stephon Castle 30 foot away from the basket on the wing. And he made the shot. And saved the Spurs the game, the series, the entire playoff series is based on that shot for me so far. Stephon Castle misses that shot. The New York Knicks get into a much better rhythm. And I think they go and do what they've done in the first 2 games and close it out on their home floor. Man, you can't write the Spurs off. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people in the media, myself included, have quickly forgotten about with these first 2 games. Like, obviously, losing your first 2 games of home court advantage in an NBA Finals is like the least unideal thing that you can do. And that is not something that any team ever plans on doing. But you come out in this game and obviously your defense was much better. And I think that's what caused the offense to slow down so much for the New York Knicks in this game today. Karl Anthony Towns was a big one for me today. I feel like the dude wasn't on the court. He got into so many different tangle-ups with Victor Wembanyama. I'll get to that in a moment because I think that's kind of going out of control. But on the offensive side of the ball, Karl Anthony Towns, we know, is a great 3-point jump shooter. And as good as the growth of Karl Anthony Towns has been in order for him to become a better playmaker, a better defender, and a better all-round star, my only thing with Karl Anthony Towns was I think there was a couple of times in this possession today where he didn't look at the 3-point jump shot, where the old Karl Anthony Towns definitely would have. He's always trying to look for the next pass, and obviously there was times in this game where the next pass wasn't the right pass. And it caused Josh Hart. Obviously, Josh Hart today had an amazing first half. He drained most of the 3-point jump shots that he got, but that was a lifeline for the New York Knicks in this first half. They had to stem from that first half from Josh Hart and then build off it in other aspects of them. Because I do not expect, and I don't think anyone should expect, including Coach Mike Brown or anyone involved in the organization, I don't think they should expect Josh Hart to be a good offensive scorer for 4 quarters. So, and I think there was times where this is what came into into play. Mikal Bridges obviously had his worst game of probably since the Atlanta series because he picked up those 2 quick fouls. The dude was on the bench within the first 3 minutes. Landry Shamet was getting early burn. I think Landry Shamet's minutes today weren't as impactful as they were in these first 2 games. He just, I don't know, there was times where he got a bit over-aggressive defensively, wasn't hitting the shots that he usually hit. He hit one in the corner, but I think that was pretty much it. Jordan Clarkson, for me, I give a lot of credit to Jordan Clarkson today. He hit a couple of big 3-point jump shots, couple of big layups getting to the bucket. He was their best player off the bench today because we didn't get any Deuce McBride production at all. It was, he just came on for small spurts in the first half, and then I think he got early burn in the fourth quarter, and I don't think he scored, if my memory serves me correctly. So, offensively, far from the Knicks' best game. And it really just puts, the Spurs were good enough in this game to stay even attached. Like, I think the largest lead for the Knicks was 7, which was at halftime, and the Spurs were able to stay attached, stay competing, score in big moments, and it was able to keep them in this game. And it was able to keep them in the running, and I think that's what you need to do in an away game, is you just need to stay there. I think I said it in my last video about the Knicks. They just need to hang around until that opportunity opens to them. And in this game, the opportunity opened to the Spurs. There was a couple of moments where it was a bit touch and go for the Spurs because you have that possession. Victor catches the ball top of the key, makes a 3-point jump shot. We think initially it's an and one because Mitchell Johnson, I got both of them mixed up. Mitchell Robinson ends up in the landing area of Victor Wembanyama. He makes the shot, and it's a 4-point play. Knicks challenge the possession. Keldon Johnson is seen pushing Mitchell Robinson into Wemby. Not only is an offensive foul called apart from and takes away the defensive foul, but that 3 points is also taken away. So it went from a 10-point game to Jalen Brunson immediately comes out of this possession, scores a 2-point layup. It goes from a 10-point game to a 5-point game, literally in the click of a finger. And I think for the Spurs to be able to adapt to these moments and to stay in the game, it was huge for them. And for such a young team, as I said, insane. Dylan Harper is going to be an incredible basketball player. The dude missed a couple of threes late in this game that could have iced it, but you obviously look away from that with how good he was in the other 3 quarters of this game. He gets to the bucket, he's flexing on Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns and hitting massive 3-point shots when it's required of him to do so. He's just so consistently good off the bench for the Spurs, and the fact that the dude is in year 1 of his NBA career is just insane to me. And I just continuously look at this Spurs team, and it just reminds me how much this NBA lottery change is going to change the entire franchise, the entire league. Because teams aren't going to be able to build like the Spurs did. Obviously, it was a big talking point at the start of this series that the 2 differences between the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs is that the Spurs are basically entirely made through the draft and the draft lottery. Wembanyama, Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle, as I said, Dylan Harper, all of these guys, their main players on their floor, Keldon Johnson I'll throw in there. They are all San Antonio Spurs and have been their entire career because they have gotten these draft picks and they have been able to pick them. And obviously the Victor Wembanyama draft was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You were taking him 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000. And it's just insane that teams aren't going to be crafted like this anymore. The trading is going to be such a bigger thing, and the New York Knicks are a product of that trading situation. There is not a single person on this New York Knicks team that is New York Knicks bred. And it just really, really shows like how you can build teams in multiple different fashions. But anyway, I'm sort of getting away from the game and everything that went on today. Obviously, like I said, I expected the Spurs roster to be completely cut down today, but it wasn't. They stuck with Luke Cornett. They stuck with Carter Bryant. I mean, Carter Bryant played 3 minutes, gave away a couple of fouls, hit 1-3 in the corner, and that was his entire night. But his minutes stayed in the rotation. Keldon Johnson's minutes stayed in the rotation. Like, these dudes still got burned. And obviously, I think this was Keldon Johnson's best game of the three. Personally, I still don't think it was amazing. Like, the dude is obviously really, really physical. The dude is a bruiser. He's going to barrel his way into the key, use his size, use his body to get to the bucket. On the defensive side of the ball, he's going to crash the glass. Yeah, it just, I don't know. Something about the minutes, I feel like it just doesn't bring cohesion with this Spurs roster and the way that these Spurs play at the moment. But yeah, 2-1. And the Knicks obviously have a crucial game on Wednesday now. Like, it somewhat falls back onto the New York Knicks today, because you go back to the Garden in 2 days' time and you lose this game as well. We are back to where we started. The Spurs get home court advantage back. The Spurs played 2 of their last 3 games at home. The New York Knicks obviously rally, losing 2 straight games at their favourite arena. There's a lot to digest, and it's crazy, like, and this is the thing about me in basketball and how insane basketball can truly be, is I was sitting watching the last couple of minutes of this game, and obviously the New York Knicks hit a couple of prayer 3-point jump shots towards the end to keep this game, like, in contention. And it was amazing how many times I was sitting on the couch thinking, like, okay, I'm going to have to start this video talking about the Knicks winning a miracle. I'm going to have to talk about the Spurs holding off the Knicks miracle. I'm going to talk about the Spurs, breaking away late in this game. Like, my mind changed, like, so many times in the last 2 minutes of, I could be talking about this, or maybe I could be talking about that. Like, basketball has a way of doing that, where, like, so many things can happen in 20 seconds of actual in-game basketball time. And it's really just an amazing part, and it's why I love the game so much and how influential it is, because there's a roller coaster ride involved in it. And I honestly went through that today as an NBA fan. Like, there so many small moments. But the Spurs stay alive. Victor Wembanyama has his best game. He came out and, like, a lot of his buckets were tough shots and they were ridiculously hard to make. But, like, there's a testament to his height at some point where the guards of the San Antonio Spurs are literally just throwing the ball up at the bucket, and Victor and his 1,000,000-foot-5 wingspan just somehow guides the ball into the bucket. Like, it's insane. And for me and Victor, like, the dude is obviously a generational talent, but the height also comes into play. Like, insane. And another sort of talking point, from this game, speaking about Victor Wembanyama, is, the dude pushed Jalen Brunson straight in the back of the head. Like, folded him over like a lawn chair. Literally put a hand behind the dude's back and pushed him straight. Wasn't reviewed. Nothing happened. And it speaks to, obviously, first of all, the physicality of the series and how much the referees are letting go. My one thing with the refereeing today was, I feel like there was a point in this game where nothing was being called. And then there was a point in this game where there was a few little touch fouls that were getting called. Like, the New York Knicks were found themselves with 5 team fouls within the first 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. Where for the first 3 quarters, I feel like neither team even got anywhere near 5 fouls within the first 8 minutes of the quarter. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was fairly officiated, and this series to date has been ridiculously physical, and everyone's just getting grabbed, and you're not being able to move freely because this person's getting grabbed. Victor's grabbing Karl-Anthony Towns, but Karl-Anthony Towns is pulling his jersey. I don't know. I think it's my one nitpick of this series is, like, the physicality is too far to an extent because it's just like shameless physicality in the jersey grabbing and the pulling, and it just ruins the flow to some degree. But that's about it. I think that's everything that I've got for today. Huge gut check win for the Spurs, as said on the broadcast. Knicks go to their home court in 2 days' time and must win this game if they want to pretty much put this series to bed. Otherwise, you go back to San Antonio 2-2 and you've got a lot of hard work left to do. So we'll see what comes out of the Knicks in the next couple of days' time. Obviously, the Knicks winning streak is over. I think it stops now at 14 in a row. So it was 2 against the Hawks, 4... Yeah, it was 14 in a row. So that comes to an end. It's a gut check for the Knicks. They just need to come back in 2 days' time and close out home court advantage and basically end the series. But we'll see. We shall see in a couple of days' time. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, if you could consider liking, even subscribing, that would be absolutely amazing. I hope you guys are enjoying the finals as much as I am. Obviously, the Spurs winning this game makes the finals so much more appealing because there is actually a competitive nature to it. And it is not going to be an absolute beatdown, which is great. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in another couple of days. There'll be another video out for Game 4. I'm kind of stuck. And obviously, if you guys have got any recommendations, that would be awesome. But in between finals games at the moment, I feel like I've got no idea what to talk about. Because obviously the only thing relevant at the current moment is the NBA Finals. And I don't really want to just throw out a video talking about a random coaching change or like a... You know, if you guys still want to see that, please do let me know. But for right now, I'm sort of just in two minds whether you guys actually want to see it or not right now. But anyway... If you guys could let me know about that, that would be awesome. I will see you guys in another couple of days' time otherwise, and I hope you guys keep enjoying the hoops. Thank you, guys.